Hello everyone, Coaster Thrills here, and today we're going to be ranking all 15 coasters at Six Flags Great America. Six Flags Great America in Gurnee, Illinois is my home park, as well as being the only park I have visited besides from the 4 Disney parks in Florida. I went to Great America a lot over the summer, so I've ridden all 15 coasters at the park, and I am going to rank them up. Before we begin, I have to say there is no bad coaster at the park. All are enjoyable, so please remember that these are my opinions, and with that, let's start the video. At number 15, in last place, is Sprocket Rockets, a Vekoma Jr. coaster built in 1998. Sprocket Rockets, being the worst coaster at the park, is a good sign for what's to come, because Sprocket Rockets is the kiddie coaster of the park, and for a kid's coaster, it's quite enjoyable. This ride is pretty solid for what it is, however, it comes in last place because it is the smallest and everything else here is much better. Number 14 is Little Dipper, a PTC kids wooden coaster. Little Dipper was built in 1950 at nearby Kiddieland. However, when that park closed, Little Dipper was relocated to Six Flags Great America and opened in 2010. This ride shows a lot of similarities to Sprocket Rockets, as it's also an enjoyable kids ride. However, I enjoy Little Dipper a little more because for a kids ride, it actually has some minor pops of airtime, which is very surprising. At number 13, we have Dark Knight Coaster, a Mock Rides Wild Mouse built in 2008. This Wild Mouse was built aside 2 others that were clones built at the same time the film was released to maximize popularity. Dark Knight is one where I really can't decide on my opinion. I rode it twice, and both times I got stapled, which kind of ruined the experience for me. But however, looking past being stapled, this ride was very fun, but very janky. I haven't ridden any other Wild Mouses, but if I had to guess, this is a really good one. Number 12 is Joker, an SNS 4D free spin that opened in 2017. This 4D free spin was introduced to the Six Flags chain in 2015 as Batman the Ride opened at Fiesta, Texas. Since then, they have cloned 6 more, most of them being named Joker. Joker is a very interesting coaster because the amount of flips you get will always be random. That being said, this ride is still a ton of fun as you feel yourself flipping back and forth for about 30 seconds. Even if you don't complete a full loop, you'll still have fun. If you're nauseous, I understand that it's probably not a good idea to ride. However, if you're not, I say give this ride a try. At number 11, we have Demon, an aero looper built in 1976 which opened with the park. Demon was the last coaster at Great America that I have never ridden, so I was very curious going in. I have heard from many that it's very rough around the corkscrews, but the rest of the ride was just fine. I went back row, and I was very surprised to have a great pop of airtime on the first drop. Besides from this, the layout was very simple and nothing stood out as noteworthy. Looking at this, overall this was a fun and simple coaster, however cannot compete with the rest of the park. At number 10, we have The Flash, Vertical Velocity, an intimate impulse which opened in 2001. This recently got the retheme to The Flash, but besides from that, it is a very inconsistent ride. There have been times I've rode this and have gotten amazing rides, however, I've had other rides that have been extremely boring. This ride is extremely simple, just going back and forth a few times with a launch. However, it's still a ton of fun. This ride looks a lot more intense than it is, so if you're scared, I recommend that you try it at least once. Great ride. Between this and number 9, I could barely decide what's better. Speaking of number 9, we have Wizo, a Schwarzkopf speed racer built in 1976. This is a family coaster that, along with Demon, was also built at Great America's sister park, California's Great America. However, unlike their version of Demon, their Wizo clone is defunct. This makes this coaster very unique and has an amazing setting in the woods. This ride has many whippy turns and low-to-the-ground moments and is truly a great experience. This is an amazing coaster for the whole family and is a very unique and fun experience. At number 8, we have the very polarizing American Eagle, an intimate wooden coaster that was built in 1981. When this opened 43 years ago, this was the tallest and fastest coaster in the world. Since then, the American Eagle has still kept running very strong. This coaster starts off with an 166-foot drop and a bunch of airtime hills. All of these provide really strong and great airtime. However, after this, the ride kinda dies. It goes into a giant helix, which is the most rough and terrible element I have ever experienced. This ride tries to pick up after that, however, it's not as great as the first half. Another weird issue I have with this ride is that I've gotten stapled on 2 of my forward rides. Besides from that, This coaster has been heavily rumored throughout the years to be closed and replaced. However, as it is right now, it is still a very great ride. At number 7, we have Batman the Ride, a B&M invert which opened in 1992. This opened as the very first B&M invert, and the first of all the Batman clones. This explains why it works with its terrain so well. This ride is amazing. I feel criminal making it at number 7, but I guess that shows how amazing this park lineup is. I switched this ride with number 6 while writing the script, and between this and number 4, anything can be switched. Anyways, this is a 5 inversion machine that pulls amazing forces, especially throughout the corkscrews, while also providing some really fun bank turns. This is an amazing sense of speed throughout and truly an amazing ride. I highly recommend. At number 6, we have Viper, a wooden coaster that opened in 1995. This was built in-house by Six Flags and is a replica of the Coney Island Cyclone, one of the most famous rides in history. Viper is a very interesting one. I've only ridden it twice. That's less than every other coaster here. But the 2 rides I did get were amazing. This ride's a little janky throughout, but it barely matters when you're getting so many pops of airtime. The whole entire ride. This feels extremely long and has so many pops of airtime throughout. That is why it's underrated and deserving of this spot. Starting off the top 5 is Superman Ultimate Flight, a B&M flyer built in 2003. This is a clone of the original Superman Ultimate Flight, which opened at Six Flags Over Georgia. This ride is extremely fun and does an amazing job at simulating flight. This ride, for the most part, is very graceful as you fly over the flat land beneath you. However, it has what I describe to be the most intense moment I've ever seen on any coaster I've ridden, the pretzel loop. This element is so intense as you lay on your back while you experience insane G-forces. Besides from this element, the ride is extremely chill and fun at the same time, and it can be very enjoyable for anyone looking to ride. At number 4, we have Xflight, a B&M wing coaster built in 2012. At this time, Six Flags were in bankruptcy and surprised many when they ordered the second ever wing coaster in the United States. This ride is very fun and unique as it combines very graceful elements with forceful ones. One big problem with this ride, however, is the fact that it has vest restraints that really hurt by the end of the ride. Ignoring this though, you can find good elements throughout the ride, but one that really stands out above the rest is the inline twist through the tower. This serves as a near miss element, and this moment is absolutely insane. You think your head's gonna smash directly into the tower, but you barely evade it at the last second. Overall, this moment, along with the others, make Xflight deserving of this spot. Number 3, Max Force, an S&S compressed air launch, which opened in 2019. Max Force is the Great America's newest coaster, as well as being a triple record breaker, featuring the world's fastest inversion, the world's tallest double inversion, and the fastest acceleration in North America. This ride reaches 78 miles per hour in less than 2 seconds, which is absolutely crazy. That launch and gut punch is real. After this, you go through 5 inversions that are all good in their own way, however one sticks out, the Heartline Roll. This is the world's fastest inversion at 65 miles per hour and provides amazing whip going through it. This ride is unfortunately extremely short, clocking in at 22 seconds, but those 22 seconds are absolutely amazing. In second, we have Ringbow, a B&M Hyper built in 1999. This is Six Flags Great America's tallest coaster, standing 203 feet tall, and is the only hyper coaster I've ever ridden. For those of you who don't know, a hyper coaster is a roller coaster that exceeds 200 feet. B&M is especially famous for their hypers, and this is the second ever built. This ride is amazing. No other way to say it. It provides amazing airtime in the back row, and you'll get absolutely thrown from your seat during the first drop. The pre-drop helps pull so much force into that drop though. After this, you'll experience 3 or 4 great airtime moments. This ride is much different from most other B&M hypers, as Ringbow has more of a twister layout. I can't compare this to the other hypers, but I still think this layout's pretty good. One issue I do have with the ride is the fact that if you don't get back row, the airtime is much weaker than the rest of the train. More than any ride at the park, it really depends on where you sit. That being said, there's still so much to love about this ride. Like the lap bars or the 3 trains that load very quick, the ops never staple, and in the back row, this ride is just fun, and it is an amazing time. In first place, we have the RMC Top of Track Woody Goliath, which opened in 2014. Goliath is my favorite ride at the park, and I don't think it's even close. Goliath is my number one coaster, although like I said, I've only been here in Disney World. Goliath is short but ever so sweet. It has an amazing first drop at 85 degrees, which is once the steepest on any wooden coaster. You're standing up the entire time as you fall 185 feet, which is the tallest drop on any wooden coaster in the world. This drop is fantastic, and between this and Ringbow, it's very hard to pick which one's better. You then reach 72 miles per hour, the fastest on any wooden coaster, before dropping into a tunnel. You then go through 3 more fast and insane elements: the airtime hill, the dive loop, and the zero-G stall. The airtime hill provides insane ejector, while the dive loop and zero-G stall provide amazing hang time. The ride ends soon after, however, by the end you'll have a loss for breath. The ride's pacing is amazing, and it maintains its speed from beginning to end. Overall, this coaster is fantastic and is number 1 best at Great America. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching till the end, and I will try to upload more content soon. Goodbye!